Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this week's episode of the Gym Owners Podcast. I'm your host, Tyler Stone. Over there's John. Hi, John.
Hey, Tyler.
Before we get started today, I want you guys to go over to the Gym Owners Revolution. The Gym Owners Revolution is a Facebook group. There we've got all sorts of cool shit we drop. We're going to be running a kind of a free little thing for you to do in there in the next, it's about a month away. I know we've been running this promotion for this for a long time, but it is about a month away. We're going to be running this month and a half away. Month and a half away. But you're going to, for free, be able to kind of go through and touch up a lot of good shit in your business. And at the end of this little few days of 20, 30 minutes a day challenge, you'll be able to really be selling higher ticket items. You're going to fix a lot of stuff from your offer stack to your the products you offer to your sales. Now everything's going to rule. So it's a free thing we're going to do to get you guys started, because we found that we're in the business of helping gym owners who are a bit stuck, right? A bit stuck, not making the money they want to make, or kind of just at a plateau, either stuck very early or stuck in that midway through the development of the business, to where they're just don't quite have the money to just sink a ton of money into their development. So we decided the thing we're going to do next month is going to be to help you by kickstarting all that shit for you for free. So get in the Facebook group. We're going to help you kickstart the way you make some real money, so that eventually you can then be operating at a higher level, so then you can pay us to really take your business up to the stratosphere. So get in there. The link's in our description for the Gym Owners Revolution Facebook group. And let's jump right into the podcast. Follow the show at the Gym Owners Podcast on Instagram. Follow John at jbanksfl on Instagram, and follow me at Tyler F. and Stone on Instagram. Today, we're going to talk about something that we try to include in almost all of the fitness offer stacks that we have our gym owners and coaches and personal trainers sell. And it's not a thing that is expensive. It's not a thing that you're going to make a ton of money doing, but I think it is a very critical piece in the operations of your business from top to bottom, from your retention strategy to quality control, what's going on the floor of your gym, making sure that your clients are held accountable as well. To the things they're doing outside the gym, to their effort in the gym, and to the things that they just chose early on when it comes to defining their terms of success. So making your clients successful is what makes you successful as a coach. And being able to monetize that process is what makes you successful as a gym owner. So it's really important. So this product is simply measurables. Measurables. How are you measuring results for your clients? So in our offer stacks, somewhere in there, I like to bake it in depending on how the products flow. But usually I almost include it in all of my nutrition stuff. Anytime I'm selling anything where there's a level where there's nutrition, I don't go in my stack. We don't go like training and then training plus nutrition and then training plus nutrition plus measurables. I almost like the flow where it's just, when we're doing nutrition, we're doing measurables. We're doing, whether it's body fat scans or calipers, or even if, by the way, this may not just be, it's important to know what measurables, it's not just about body composition. Can be. And what I do, it almost is exclusively. I get a lot of weight loss, muscle building, fat loss clients. But when I do get into the world, or Gordon, one of our guys in the Gear Academy, is heavily into sports performance, especially with youth. You're going to be doing fucking body fat scans on kids that are 12, 13, 14 years old. You're not going to get into that much, but they are there for a reason. What is that? Right. And we're not going to be able to measure necessarily, is this kid being a fucking man finally? Is he stopped being such a wuss? Right. Is he working? But their parents are there for something performance-based. And so are you measuring this thing we used to talk about before with our assessments and stuff like that as well?
Yeah.
The person wants their kid to be faster and jump higher and be stronger, then we are going to need some metrics for that, so that by the end of this, whatever commitment we've made, especially with youth stuff like that, is that this is a short-term commitment, and then they go off to their sports and then they come back to you. So you need to be able to touch in with them on where things are. And then at the end of your arrangement, here's what's improved. And that's extremely important. So whatever that is, and maybe to start for this, when it comes to measurables, how do we determine what we need to offer for measurables? It starts with how you deliver your sales process. Because the first conversation you should have with your sales process is, what are you looking to accomplish in the next few months? Because that is your opportunity. And even if they say a bunch of other stuff, I don't want to lose, I would say, perfect. I like to double down at that moment in that conversation. And I like to say, so what would you what would need to happen for you to define this experience as a success? Like what would happen for this to be, for you to say this was a very successful endeavor? And they'll say, yeah, exactly. If I could lose 10 pounds, if I could fit into my jeans, if I could just look better or feel great, let's find out what we need to do measurables wise to make that count. Because if you're not doing it, there's nothing to even hold them accountable to staying on track.
Well, and we've talked about this before, which is it's expectation setting and the importance of setting those expectations up front. You can absolutely guarantee that you will not be successful with every single client that you meet. I guarantee you won't be if you do not establish what the expectation of what this exchange is all about. Why are they coming to work with you? Why are they bothering to spend money with you? Because if you don't have that be clear, when they get to the end of the month or 8 weeks or 6 weeks or 12 weeks, if you weren't clear on what they were trying to achieve, they will blame you because they paid you.
Yes.
And so this is where we didn't, and I think it's good to note that it's when we were originally doing and starting to play with how we would package services and how we would do this with clients, and then for gym owners to help them start doing it, and even for personal trainers, we didn't have this like accountability measurable piece that was originally tied with nutrition until we really started to realize how much more powerful the nutrition part and the accountability part got when we introduced this and ultimately combined them for good.
When someone is looking at hiring a fitness coach, okay, for any reason, whether it's weight loss, strength, whatever that is, right? Unless they're already established in their nutrition habits and stuff, which then, if I'm being totally honest with you, like I'm just not that interested in working with somebody who's like 98% dialed in. It's just, it's a low impact job. This is, we've, worked with coaches all over the world who have worked with very, very high level athletes. And those highest level athletes are usually the least satisfying people to coach. Universally, this is what we've been told, is because somebody else will get them there. It just doesn't take that much. You know what I mean? Like getting somebody from a 96% to 98% is just not that interesting. I really like prefer to have the impact in my community and in the world of getting somebody who's at 10% and getting them to 70, 80%. That changes lives, it changes families, changes communities. That's the impact that matters to me. So I'm just not super concerned with like somebody who already has most of their shit dialed in and just needs me to what? It's just not there for me. So, and if you're trying to generate leads, okay, if you're trying to attract people to your services, there's a lot more people who are way farther off from being dialed in, which means someone's going to say a personal trainer is the solution to them getting goals. It's excellent. Yes, exercise is big. It's very important. But you and I both know this. You can coach the shit out of somebody in the gym. And I've seen it. And if there's nothing addressed about their nutrition, or what they do is they'll work hard in the gym and then just use that as an excuse. Say, I did this, so now I don't have to bother with any of making changes in any other aspect of their life. They choose paying for a trainer as a way to almost offload the responsibility for the thing that they really know is the problem, and don't give them that out. And that's what I'm really saying. Not people are going to buy what they're going to buy. You don't need to force them up in it, but you do need to say, like, just so you know, like working out doesn't burn that many calories. You're better off taking 6 fewer bites of something shitty a day, something bad for you a day. 6 fewer bites will get you almost further from a fat loss standpoint than a lot of fucking exercise, like a lot of hours of working really hard. So it's just not worth it. And go ahead.
I said, but one thing I wanted to call out is the most pushback we get, whether it's inside of the Gear Academy or when we are just generally talking with other gym owners or personal trainers, is my people don't care. It's almost as though the idea of fat shaming, right? This new fat positive body movement bullshit is tainted and has ruined how we all collectively think about body composition. Because now it's not appropriate to be able to say, I would like to be thinner, or I would like to look better. Oh, what does that mean? Doesn't
Yeah.
mean I want to look you. Oh, you want to be. You are not like confident or proud who you are or whatever. And if you're a fat
Mhm.
fuck, or if you have to lose some weight, or you wish you could be stronger, we now all have to do this big group hug. And what it is, so what
Yeah.
we get pushback on is a little bit of this woke bullshit, which is people come and be like, well, my people, they don't care about
Yeah, they're
body
not interested.
compositions.
And it's the same thing I hear from people who are who say, "Oh, my people will never pay that much for my service," just in general, right? If you're trying to, nobody's going to prepay for 12 weeks of personal training. And I was like, okay, well, you're just not fucking asking, or you suck. Like, you literally suck at doing it, because otherwise it's very, very easy. Many of our people do. And so when people come to us and they say like, oh, my people aren't buying it, it's like, okay, you're not offering it. One, that's usually how it goes. You're just not offering it. You're not, you don't care. You personally don't give a shit about it. It's usually what happens as well. So if you're having a hard time selling this, stop trying to sell it. This is the number one thing. Offer it to people, and then just explain it in this way, the way I'm explaining it to you, which is like, listen, you came to me, you defined these terms of success here, which is you'd like to lose some weight. I'd like to make sure that we can prove that. For the same reason, someone who's looking for fat loss should be paying for your nutrition services instead of just going to the gym. That's the same reason that they should be participating in some sort of measurables program, where it's like, we are going to weigh you, we're going to do body fat scans, because they wanted to lose body fat. And it's very important, because for them to be successful, if they're training for a month and nothing goes, they don't lose any weight, don't lose any fat, and you're coaching them on nutrition, that sucks, man. Like, they're fucking lying to you. They're not doing it. But if they do have to come in, let's get on the scale, let's check in, let's see how we're doing here. That holds them accountable. That makes accountability a thing. We're not having to do this day-to-day hand holding. It's like, here's when we're going to check in. And that psychology, I've talked about this before. If you weigh a person every day, if they just weigh themselves every single day and make no other noticeable, intentional, deliberate changes to their nutrition or lifestyle, they will still start to lose some weight. You know why? Because they will make a bunch of subliminal little changes, because they just know every day they got to look into it. It's a part of the observer's paradox, and it's real. So when you get into this situation, now I've run into this before, and I want to explain to you. So this resistance you talk about, where people will say, my people don't really want it. It's like, well, if we've said you're not offering it, whatever. Two, are you actually advertising out there, like promoting, not advertising, paying for ads? You can do that as well, of course, and you should be. But advertising gets weird when you're talking paid ads for fat loss and shit. They don't.
Well,
Making
it'll shut your
promises
whole thing down.
gets strange. Yeah. So you've got to be health. It's got to be fitness stuff. But your organic stuff, you should be talking about the shit that people want. So if you're not getting enough leads feeding into your system, like, maybe, or the people you're getting are just really not interested. Like, I'm really not interested in improving my body composition and making sure that I can prove that it's been improving, and so that in the long haul we can make great improvements instead of just waiting until someday I'm jacked. That means you're attracting people who aren't interested in improving. Well, that means then, if I'm looking objectively at what you've been putting out in the world, social media wise, or what people are attracted to, they're not coming to you to get better. So you're not talking about getting better. So all these people who want to lose fat are looking at your stuff, and apparently you're not being attracted. And the only ones are the ones who come in and don't want to look better. Well, Jesus Christ, what a missed opportunity. So you're missing out on 90% of the people who I work with, and who fucking Megan works with, and who the other gyms that we work, 90% of them, when people are running these systems right, all of them will say that improving their body composition is the reason that they're there, or is one of the things on the line for them to be successful.
You and I dedicated an entire episode way back in 2022 that was 100% dedicated to like the top 10 metrics for why people choose and come to a gym. Outside of being closest to your home, which was the number one reason why someone chooses a gym, is because of the location of either where they work or where they live. It was body composition. Now,
Yeah.
I think it's important because to call this out directly too, which is, if you choose not to go after body composition, one, I think you're just being a pussy about it, and you are fucking yourself over business wise by completely ignoring the largest percentage of humanity that needs help, and right now
Yeah.
has horseshit advice that's being given to them, all the way down to having surgery on kids that are fat instead of having them stop eating
Yeah.
bullshit and
Yeah.
just
And
exercise,
you're
right?
just gonna, as a business owner, high road them by saying, "Oh, I mean, it's not that important. I'm above it." No, you're not above
Right.
it. You're not fucking doing it for people. That's the problem. Because if you were delivering really effective, incredible fat loss results, and you were putting that out there and you were showing those testimonials and showing those results, and that's the whole point of measurables too, is you can define other successes along the path there.
Yep.
What the fuck kind of opportunities are you missing? And what are you doing then? You're just letting people come in and live their life plateaued, fitness wise, body comp wise, performance wise in your gym, because that's what you're encouraging by not doing this.
Now, the one thing, so this is what I want to say is, yet we've established you're pussy, we disagree with you. But here's the next
Yeah.
piece. And this is what's the most problematic for me, is that because everyone assumes when we talk about this, this is the pushback that we get when we talk about measurables, is that it's because you only view measurables from a body composition standpoint, and you're planting your flag and Fatland's thing and saying, no, I'm better and
Yeah.
I'm above it. And you choose not to do measurables. So you also have to understand, okay, fuck, don't do body comp because it's too much of a thing for you to be able to handle right now, mentally and emotionally and spiritually. But if you have people that are there with you to where maybe you do have a bunch of athletes, or you do have weekend warriors, or you do have, again, what we talked about at the very beginning, establishing the expectations. Why are they there? And why are they training with you? You have to have a fucking measurable. So even if it's grandma is there, she wants to be able to sit on the fucking shitter without falling and being put into a home because she breaks a hip. Guess what? You have a measurable. And
You
that
get
should be
somebody
something
coming in ready for military training, right? They're military
right.
physical. Perfect. Here's where we're at now. Great. Let's get this improved. Boom. Now these things matter. That may be combined with body weight, and boom, you have now. But the performance is what the performance is. You know what I mean? I'm a 5K. I'd like to improve that. Perfect.
That's
Again,
bingo.
the outcomes of your training are obviously much more than just body composition and mile times and bench presses and all this stuff. It's so much more than this. But you have to fucking somehow, you need some data because it's important. And the reason this data is important is because the mirror will lie to your clients even when they're doing well. And they're and most of ones who have maybe let themselves go for a while, they've been ignoring the mirror for a long time anyways. So even if it starts going the other direction or it's not improving, they're just going to hide from it. Okay. So when things do start improving, they're not really going to know either because they see themselves every day. And it's a long ways, usually in someone's fitness journey and weight loss journey, before people in their lives start to notice and start to say things like, "Oh, have you lost weight? You look great." Okay, like there's a long that curve is a bit more, what's the word, leveled out. Like it doesn't happen all of a sudden. Like suddenly it's not just like, damn, I look great in the mirror, damn, I'm down 15 pounds, damn. But like you may, when you start training, build a little bit of muscle and then fucking be losing some fat, especially if you're brand new, which means the scale may not move that much. Just weighing maybe isn't enough. Okay, so now they're going to see the scale stays the same. That's a psychological loss. And one of the most important things when it comes to being a coach is giving your clients wins. And you're taking wins away from them by choosing not to fucking apply whatever their metrics for success were. Okay. And making sure that you check in on it. And so maybe that not everyone is an opportunity to be sold into a product, but it can be, right? You can have a performance assessment that sits as your fucking measurable piece.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to check in. We're going to devote an extra session to this. I'll do a good write up and a deliverable to you. That works, right? And so I think that there's another piece to this, though, that I think matters a lot is on the accountability side with your clients. Okay. Now, I have experience with this because I sell these products as well when I run personal training. And the measurables almost seems, and you will get people, and this is one of the guys in the Gear Academy said the same things. Like, I'll have people that'll want to choose like my highest training package, but they'll ask if I can remove the measurables out of it. I'm like, fine, totally. One, whatever, go for it. Let them, like, take the money off or whatever. Most of the time, though, people will just buy it and then hope that you don't do it. That's the other one. they'll pay for it, and they're going to try to shy away from it, right? So I have a client who said it was the same exact thing. He wanted to do the thing. He's ready to make the change. It's everything is lined up to him. I want to make this happen. I want to go from here to here, here to here. But when it came to the nutrition stuff, it was like always a little delay. Like, yeah, I'm about ready. I want to get through. And finally, what it came down to is like, I'm not going to allow this, right? I had to say, I am not going to let you hide away from this, because what they're doing by pushing that off, saying, no, don't hold me accountable to this. Don't make me weigh myself. Even though I said I want to lose 50 pounds, don't make me weigh myself. Let's never weigh ourselves. I don't want to do body fat scan either. Like if they're avoiding all that stuff, what they're avoiding is success. What they're avoiding is actually having to change themselves. Because as a coach, you're going to find a person who goes from overweight to fit, that's not the same person you're dragging through that process. Okay, that person needs to change from an overweight person with bad habits and with overweight habits to a fit person who does fit person shit, which means you just need to become a different person. You are what your habits are, and all these things need to change. So people will subconsciously or very consciously subvert their own chances for success by avoiding the accountability to their own success. Like, I don't want to look at my bank account. I don't want to know. I don't want to know. I know it's not good. I don't want to look at it. I don't want to know. I'm going to avoid this. I don't want to know how much I weigh. Okay. Not, by the way, avoiding getting on the scale is a thing that people do when their stuff's headed the wrong direction. When you know you're not paying any attention, you're letting yourself go. That's when people will stand on the scale for the first time in 3 months, 4 months and go, oh, fuck. And they know they've been avoiding it, and they know why they've been avoiding it. So do not let your clients who have goals that are defined by weight loss, fat loss, and all this stuff, and they need nutrition coaching, don't let them off the hook. If you sell someone into something with zero chance of success and you know it, it's on you. Okay. Meaning, if I know a person who has dog shit nutrition habits and they want me to give them results via just personal training, like I can't help them. I just can't help them. I said, even if they don't buy my coaching, are you willing to eat less? Are you willing to eat better stuff? Like, are you willing to at least do that generally? Because if you're not going to make any improvements there, all I'm going to do is you're going to learn a lot of things about exercising here, and then you're still not going to get any results. Your experience with me needs to be a successful one. It needs to be fruitful, or else it's not worth my time. And with John, we do this in our business coaching all the time. I'll tell clients we have constantly, I don't care. Like, I'm all about a good idea, whether it's mine or not. I'm also all about shitting on a bad idea because it sucks, right? And if a bad idea sucks, I don't care if you do it, man. But if you want to do something stupid, don't bring it to me first. Definitely not just go, because I am then going to rip it. I'm saying, no, I think this is dumb. If you're just going to power forward into it, don't take it to me, because I got to tell you, I think this is a terrible idea. And it's the same. It goes the same way with your fitness clients. Okay, if someone comes in and, like, people I'm describing to you, all they're doing is starting to put up barriers around them, walls around themselves, so that they can sequester themselves away from you and shy away from any potential of success that they're going to have, because they've always failed. They know they've always failed. That's why they're here. It's always gone the wrong direction. So for them to fix it, they're going to have to actually move forward, and they don't want to, because every time they're set up to fail, they're going to go forward, and they think they're going to weigh themselves in 2 weeks and get a body fat scan in a month, and it's going to be worse, because it's always worse. So don't give them that, because once they build that up, you are now the fall guy, because then they say, I spent the money on this trainer and it didn't work. Don't do fucking business with those people. And you need to be able to communicate these services for the reasons that I described. Like, well, it's literally how we know it's working. And if it's not working, we'll make some changes. And you need to be accountable to your own success. One more piece of this: quality control for your coaches is a huge one, because
Absolutely.
And when I look at this is a very important piece that I see a lot. I see gym owners failing this with their coaches all the time. Okay. What would your coaches need to do as far as, like, being bad at their job? What would a coach you hired, what would he need to do for you to fire him? Like, what performance metrics are out there where you would fire him? Because I hate to break it to you, them being likable, friendly, showing up on time, those are not exceptional. They're not exceptional at all. Okay. You be a cashier at a gas station. Those are criteria. People have to like you. When you talk to people, you need to not fuck it up. You need to get through whatever this interaction is that we're doing here. And you need to represent our business well. You need to show up on time. You got to be presentable. Like, but literally with gym owners, when they hire coaches, like that's like the only thing. People like him. Well, great. And now none other people are getting any fucking results. So you need to somehow have your coaches be accountable to the fucking results that their clients want. And that means when you define the terms of success for the client, that needs to actually exist somewhere, probably in writing in your back end systems, right? On your client folder. What are their notes? Hey, this person's looking to do this and this and this by this time. And when you actually introduce measurables for the sake of accountability for your entire business and the client, everybody, for the services, for the coaches, for the person out on the street, for their hours they're spending away from you in the gym. This is how you create a successful endeavor. If you can't measure it, you really can't manage it.
And if you want to scale, the importance of why you as the gym owner, you have to buy in. It's mandatory. You have to buy in to having a metric system of how you are establishing how every client is successful, how your business is being successful. You have to have numbers. You have to know your numbers, and your clients have to be aware of what numbers matter to them to help them be successful, all based off of these expectations you set ahead of time. But most importantly is that if you're a gym owner, you are not just a coach. You're not just a personal trainer. You have something wrong with you. You have that itch that's in the back of your mind that makes it to where you wanted to do more. And because you wanted to do more, you have a lot of nuance for why you do what you do. And there may be a lot of things that you don't realize that you do them because you have years of experience and years in the saddle or years of working with a certain type of client that you just know certain things to do. I guarantee your coaches don't. They don't have that nuance. There's a reason they're a coach. There's a reason when you hire people and you bring them in, there's a reason they don't know what the fuck they're supposed to do unless you tell them and hold them accountable for it. Yeah. If you're going to be a successful gym owner and you want to scale and not be responsible for coaching every fucking hour that's available for clients in your business, you have to trust and hand the baby off to maybe folks that aren't as qualified as you, that are only working their way up to be 80% as good as you. If you don't have a metric for when their client leaves, you now finally have a coach so you can have them personal train some of your people. And that client leaves and you don't know why because you weren't fucking coaching them. How are you going to know? How do you have any idea? What are the metrics that say, is this guy that I'm trusting with my people, my brand, my money, is he holding up his end of the bargain? What are the metrics that allowed that person to be successful that he was coaching? If you don't have it, you don't fucking know. You're in the dark. And all you say,
quality control.
He's a good guy.
Yeah, exactly. People like him. Great. Well, people like him because they can hide from their own failure and just be like, oh, I'm here with this guy. And it's okay. I had fun. Look, but I had fun. I've been working out 4 days a week, but I'm still fucking getting fatter from year to year. Mm-hmm. Like, we're not in the business of health then. You're in the business of giving people a fucking playground, which is fine. But open a fucking bowling alley then at that point, because I don't know what you're trying to do. And you can have a place where people do good stuff. Right. And it's good. It's great for the mental health. It's great. People should be exercising. But I promise you, people who are really overweight, like, I promise if they can have exercise, a good outlet, and lose that weight, that's how you've actually made a change in their life. Otherwise, you've just given them somewhere to go, given them a good hour, and that's great. But in the end, it should be for something. Yeah, I'm just not interested in having my stuff that I do not work. So it would be super frustrating for me. Now, I want to go through a real quick thought. Oh, on the quality control side, there's another side. Can you hear that noise behind me, or is it not too bad?
It's faint. You're all right.
I'll try to back it down and speak up a little bit. We'll make that all right. My apartment, this building has been flooded, so they're doing some work and it fucking pisses me off. So we'll get moved up. But quality assurance as well, though, for the coaches, right? Their accountability, they should be accountable to client results and to client satisfaction. Client satisfaction is not always tied to just results. It's not just tied to fat loss. It's not just tied to their lifting numbers. However, those things should be tracked and they should be a part of your system. It's also is just, did they have a good time? All those things. Do people like them? Did they enjoy the session? Did they feel like the session was effective? A great way, and I don't know if he still runs it, but our friend Willem used to do this, is at the end of each session, there was just an iPad on the way out the door. You know how you go to like a bathroom? You come out like a public restroom, and the iPad that you're supposed to touch to say whether it was good or bad or whatever, right?
You wash your hands or not.
There's basically that for the gym, right? And so after every session, how was the coach? How do you think the workout was? Did you have fun? Was there, and whatever, right? But it's real quick, boop, boop, boop. And getting that type of feedback, maybe you don't do it with every session, but maybe you shoot someone an email once a month. It's just, hey, answer these, rate 1 through 5. But you need to have, but that stuff matters as well when you're trying to scale. Because if you're trying to scale and you just got a guy that people like out there, great. There's some guys that have clients that people like, and it's because those or they have clients that like them, that I see coach out there who like don't fucking get anyone any results, and the only reason that the clients like them is because they're likable and they don't know any better. The moment they start seeing good personal training out there and like a real quality engagement and some good work, and instead of it just being this fucking loose, mildly disrespectful, fucking uncaring nonsense, spending 30 minutes just hanging, right, like that on your phone half the time, they just don't know any better, so they'll continue to pay that person. But this is a thing where you need to be accountable to all of those things, not just likable. But did you think the workout was fun, or was it too easy, too hard? Right? Well, if everybody is saying your workouts are too easy, then maybe there's something you can do differently there, right? So all of those things for quality control, that's where the measurables fit into one piece, of course. This is for the clients as a product to sell. But I want to touch on this. I don't even give a shit about making money on this product. Matter of fact, my measurables costs take so little. I charge like,
oh, sure.
I mean, maybe like $50 to do a quick body scan or something like that. And it takes me almost no, matter of fact, that's just for the time I spend turning it into a visual representation to send out to them still, putting it on a document and sending it to them. But even then it doesn't mean that, like, the money has very little to do with it, actually. If it did, I would just charge more for it too. And I would be concerned with people. This is why I just bake that into what I do with my nutrition stuff now, for the most part, because here's a little thought exercise, and I want you guys to do this. Think of your gym, think of all your members in this process. If you had, say, maybe you don't have one, because let's pretend you got an in-body scanner, right? You go in, you give them little handles, and it fucking tells you your thetans or whatever. No, that's the stuff. Anyway, you grab onto the thing, and it tells you your body fat and weight and some semi-localized stuff. It's maybe not the best shit in the world, but it's something. It's data, and it's data that will be consistent if you measure it consistently. And so whatever that data is, okay, what if you, let's not say but let's say told every single member of your gym, you emailed them all, and you emailed them all 3 times in the next week and a half about it. Come and get your free body scan now, and a free body scan that we're going to do in 8 weeks, right? And that way you can see, right? Let's just pretend this thing, you have the time. So let's just say you did this, right? You offered it. Which ones of them, how many of them would take you up on it? I think a fair amount, right? I also would be willing to bet then that those people, if they bought no other product, very likely the ones who got scanned in the beginning and got scanned in the end would probably show more progress in that 8 weeks than they have during any 8-week period with you in a very long time, because they're going to start making different decisions simply because, yeah, I got this scan. I'm going to go and try to, I want to try to make this work because I just want to see those numbers better on the other side. Whether that's right, wrong, bad, it doesn't matter. Just know that they will probably do more work. And I want you to also note which people turned down the free body scan before and after, which ones completely declined to take it. Those are the people who are hiding. Those are the people who either don't have body comp goals. I'm just jacked. I've never met a jacked person who didn't want to get more jacked. And by the way, you've met skinny people. They all still, I'm generalizing, but you've met skinny people, and they all, when I would get like semi-skinny clients, like runners and shit, they would come in to sign up and to do some shit to start working out. and they all want to get skinnier. None of them want to build any muscle, even though they're all just skin and bones. So just understand that, right? That like even the people who are fit would want this to be better. Like they're the ones who probably want it more than anyone else. So just know I promise you, the people who turn it down are the ones who are really trying to hide, really, really trying to hide. And that's exactly it. They don't want to have their inevitable failure 8 weeks from now pointed out to them or simply sent to them. It's not even like it's publicly blasted, but that's a little thought exercise for you to do. And I would think through your members, like who would take me up on this if it was all free? If it is all free, I don't know, pay your fucking intern to do fucking scope scans on everybody. Who cares? Like just whatever. Just throw this out there, see what happens. If you're willing or not, I don't give a shit what you do. But I promise you, the people that do it before and after, you'll have to do nothing else with them, and they will have more success. And that's why this isn't about the money or the upsell for me in that product. It's about making my shit work. And I don't like doing shit that doesn't work. I don't like rolling out on flat fucking tires. You know what I mean? Let's air them up. Car's clean. Let's go.
Yeah. It makes it better, right? It's a value add that enhances an already existing product that you should be selling. We've gone deep into the weeds on selling any type of nutrition product before, but you should be doing it. And having this be bonded together just makes it more valuable. There's another piece that we talked about in the very, very beginning, but we also need to understand just by adding this enhancement into this thing, if you start to look at what are your attrition numbers, what does the retention look like when you have people come in and are working with you, especially after maybe they buy a bigger package and they do something that was involved in some type of goal that they had and they've hit the goal. Your ability to say, you started here and man, you made it here. That's fucking awesome. What are we doing next?
Yeah.
The ability to now have that conversation and retain that person, possibly at that same level of service, and at bare minimum, keeping them involved in your community as a whole, goes way up. I'm talking like 3-4 times your ability to be able to retain someone, because it's what we see happen each and every time.
It allows you to reinforce the value of what you've done. That's the main thing. So when it comes time to renew, especially if they paid for nutrition service, maybe they didn't plan on paying for nutrition service forever. Maybe they don't plan on paying for personal training forever. Well, what's going to give you the best chance? Saying, look at this. So like John just described, that gap. Like, look at where you were, look where you are now. It's awesome, man. Really proud of you. You really, really did it. And then they can say, you know what, I got this. Let's go down to the other. And that's okay. By the way, then they may just want the measurables to make sure they don't skid off. Then it becomes a product you can just sell in a la carte after that. But it's that piece is not to be slept on for sure.
And because you show them that gap, they're high on the hog, they're super excited, whatever you want to call it, they're pumped, they're amped, they were successful. Your ability to now ask and get a high quality testimonial out of that person goes up exponentially, because now they're fucking excited. You gave them a reason to be excited. So you really have now, and which we talked about, the ability and to harness and then repurpose those testimonials into your social media content, into paid advertising, so many different things. And it doesn't have to be, man, it was one of your ads you put out there, which was amazing. It was a big fat white guy, and at the end of training with you, it turns into a jacked black guy, right? And that's you're going to be the before and after picture if you work with Dr. Stone. Yeah. Right. I love that. But it doesn't always have to be a body comp thing.
And it said, probably.
But don't get your short and curlies up in a bunch if you're like, well, I don't like the before and after pictures. It's super private and it's emotionally damning to people. It's like, then don't do that, but do something similar. It's like, man, Barbara's 87. Barbara could not stand up out of a chair without being assisted by her cane, and Barbara's kicking ass, and she's going to be fending off all the dudes that want to get into her pants now that she can walk and dance at the fucking county fair. Like, it's anything. Your ability to do that is only if you show it to them.
Exactly. And I do think it's important to touch on too that when it comes to this, so I was talking to a trainer who has some clients who used to train with somebody else, and this other person was known for delivering like high level transformations. It was crazy, like 30 days of shit, right? It would just like the
Sure.
people would eat like an apple and a salad like every day. That was it. And people
Right.
dump 30, 40, 50 pounds in like a month. It was insane shit. You just break them all. I don't know any of
Right.
those people that didn't put all that weight right back on. Like some really, really misguided shit. But he would have these people take before and after pictures, and he would go in with them, men or women, whatever. And just like, now I want you to stand, he would literally like make them stand pudgy, like literally make them turn in the saddest shit and take the before pictures. And
Sure.
then in the after pictures, he would literally go through and like, now I need you to turn here, and he just suck it in. It was that thing. It was the most disingenuous shit. And I can tell you still, before that is short-sighted because it's lying, it's misleading, it doesn't work, it's not sustainable. Your reputation, especially in a small town like this, you can't do
Yeah.
that for a lot of years and not have people think you're a fucking charlatan. So, but now these clients were working with someone else I know, and they told her like, they're like, oh, if I take before, so she offers always have these people take before photos if you want. You can do them or I can do them, whatever. And the client was like, "Oh, you're not going to make me do anything weird like about it?" It's like, "No, we'll just take a picture."
Do
And
something weird. Like,
when
what
I
did you
do my
think this
nutrition
was?
coaching, yeah, whether it's remote or in person, my nutrition coaching in the instruction is go in the bathroom right now, find a spot where you can always set your phone every time, or make consistent. Just make it consistent. I don't give a shit, and just take a picture. That's it. If you want, like literally doing make sure you frown in your before picture and smile in your after. Like that's shit. That's the shit that people do. Just go in,
Sure.
take a picture, and I tell them, I said, you do not need to send these to me, but I would like you to take one every week. Just take one every week and keep them because it's important for you. Because again, same reason I have body scans. I need you to have wins. And if from
Yes.
one week to another you feel like you've lost, and the data, the picture, the scale, the measurables show that you lost that week, then you're going to learn from that loss and you're going to go forward and we're going to win. If I allow you to hide in your fucking failures and hide from your failures from one week to the next, to the next, to the next, the fuck am I for a coach? I'm just letting you sit and fail, which is the one thing that you're paying me money to not have you do. If we did this at the business with our business consulting, John, if we did what coaches that don't offer measurables and let people out, how insane would that be? If every
Mhm.
week I was just like, how are you guys feeling? You guys having a good day? It's like, no, we tell our business coaching clients all the time, we are here for one reason and one reason only. That is to make sure you have a lot of you're making more money. Okay. And we want to make sure, of course, that all this gets done to represent your brand and fucking that you get more free time and you're able to have a fulfilling life as a business owner and you can start to scale and still like ethically do it and not be a slime ball like a lot of these people. That is our ethos. That's our fucking our thing that we do differently with the Gear Academy than I think a lot of the other business consultants out there in this space. But if we do all those other things and people fucking revenue is flatlined the whole time, what the fuck are we doing here? I don't even want to do it. I wouldn't want to do it. I wouldn't want to work with them. I would say, I don't know, this isn't working. It's either you, it's me, or whatever. But the relationship is not productive, so I'm cutting it the fuck out. And
Right.
that's it's super important. You can, if I hired, John, if we hired an employee who is going to do some work for us, right, and it's a whole new department of this business, right? But we just never really looked at all at any of their sales numbers, any revenue at all. We just liked the guy and they came in. Like it would be insane for us to not look at, to just wait a year before we realize, like, man, this department has been losing its fucking ass. Like it would be an insane way to do business if you hired an employee and never ever just checked in on whether or not they were productive at all. You just never bothered to see if it was an asset or a liability to your business at the most fundamental level, like the only level that this relationship exists for in a business, which is money and to have things get done. Like the
That's how
tasks need
you
to
get
get done, and we are trying to make profit here.
that's how you
Yeah.
get robbed.
And yeah, and this is what people do with if you're not making people put their effort where their mouth is, dude. So that's the thing is it was a subject that had come up in the Gear Academy this week as we kind of move some offer stack stuff around, and it's a piece where if you don't know what to do or what you're going to deliver for measurables, just don't charge any extra money for it. Just bake it in. You figure it out as you go. Sculpt scanner is a great one. I think I still prefer if you're not familiar with it. It's cheap. It's pretty easy. Do not bother showing them anything regarding like the muscle quality stuff. It's too complicated as things change, especially when people are new. But you can, there's muscle quality and body fat percentage localized, muscle to muscle. And so for that part, I kind of like see problem areas. Just don't let the clients get convoluted and confused by data. The other data, the muscle quality data, is going to be more complicated from scan to scan. Then you're going to want to bother trying to explain to them. But the body fat one is the one that you need to use. So use this, you scan it, you only address the body fat percentage data, and then you fold that in with all the other metrics that they decided like they wanted to have improved to be successful. It may be I want to bench fucking 700 pounds, dude. Like maybe that's it. And I said, perfect. Well, 700 maybe not the thing, but improvement is the thing, right?
Right.
So if in 2 months your benching isn't any better technically, whether it's maybe I just need to show you a video of you sucking at it and it looking like shit, and a video 2 months later of it looking better, as well as some improvements and some notes or whatever that is. But somehow you need to show me that your shit's working, because I'm just laying there fucking pushing a bar because I'm paying you.
And I think there's even another element of it where you are doing some type of an assessment and checking just how you're doing. Like you want to be like, what are the metrics that you're checking? Like for why do you do the programming that you do in your gym? Like, are people getting stronger? Is that why you have it there? Are they becoming whatever, mentally stronger, physically stronger? Are they getting hurt?
Yeah.
You know, there was a period when I was in college where every player on the team, we all went through the same, our off-season workout regimen was the same. So everybody was prescribed the same training, you know, across the board. Everybody did the same thing with different coaches. And one particular year in a single offseason, we had 25% of the team tore their ACL.
25%. It's crazy.
It was a fuck ton of dudes. Like, we're like,
Yeah.
what the? There's a group of us that were like, what's happening? Like, and none of us are like kinesiology majors, but it was enough to be like, something is happening. Something is happening. And luckily, we had a good enough coaching staff that obviously went back and said, what were we doing? What involving the hamstring and the quad and the calf were we doing that was causing an overdevelopment somewhere that's having every one of these 19 to 20-year-olds tear their ACL? And it never happened again. I don't think we had a dude tear an ACL after that. I don't think we had another guy tear an ACL for the rest of my time there. So it was like 3 years with no torn ACLs and then 1 year with 25% of us.
So just note this for gym owners, like your programming might suck too. Maybe your programming is just the wrong sauce, man. And that's why people aren't getting results. Maybe you're making people just do too much pacing shit, or maybe it's just too much intensity stuff and people are pretending to work hard. Or maybe it's not enough slow stuff. Whatever it is, I don't know. But if you have to objectively look at this. If you gave away these measurables, if you just gave them away, which I don't probably recommend, but let's just say if you do it right now, the experiment we talked about before, if you did all of that and shit wasn't working, you'd have to look at yourself, right? You'd have to either look, all right, so what are these people eating? Right? That could be thing one. Is it my programming? Well, you can't change what they eat unless you sell nutrition programming. By the way, if they don't show any improvement after that 8 weeks and they're not doing your nutrition program, what a great opportunity to sell the nutrition programming. It's like, hey, you've been in here, you've been working hard. We got to maybe fix some stuff outside of here. Boom, perfect sale. And
do you know?
Also, that's the thing you can control. But the other side, then you can control your program. You just have to objectively look at, maybe my coaching sucks. Maybe my programming's just not good, or it's not where what they need right now. And you got to be able to look at this because your services should work. It just should work. If I was fixing cars and things are breaking before they're leaving the fucking parking lot all the time, like at some point I got to go, am I doing this right?
Right. But what if it's a manufacturer's defect? Right? What if you are what if you are someone that really is good at your job and they are bringing you the cars and you are fixing it, and then every fucking Hyundai that leaves has the same goddamn problem? If you know you can honestly check all those boxes and know you did the right thing, at some point you're going to call the fucking dealer and call the actual group and be like, there's something wrong with these cars. Oh yeah, no shit, there's a recall. Let's make sure we don't stay in the metaphor too long. So we go right to people. If you know you got somebody, they've been working their ass off, they're doing nutrition with you, and they're working their ass off, and they really are, and they're not fucking cheating, they're doing everything you can. then you get them some fucking blood work and go to a goddamn doctor, because
Yeah.
you just saved them years of the possibility of them having fucking diabetes or some other shit that they don't realize that they could get
We're just
fixed
metabolically
because
fucked by the last guy that told him to eat an apple and a salad for a fucking month. And then now they eat
Or
1,000 calories a day and gain weight. That sucks, man. Like,
and
but you got to know that. But
absolutely.
sending them in at that point, if you've covered all those bases, you have all those. We've talked about this often when you talk about selling nutrition coaching and selling results truthfully. And I think this is an old gym launch piece, or one of the things Hormozy used to always say, but like, it's all about controlling for variables. That's it. The variables that we can control for, now we can manage them. And if we can't control, so if I have all these variables in my control, okay, if someone's just doing my group fitness, I don't have all those variables in control. But if they're going the wrong direction, they're not progressing, I can say, hey, we got to control some more variables. Maybe that's nutrition coaching. Maybe that's supplements. Maybe that's more private one-on-one sessions as well, to make sure the effort's there and the right workouts that fit are there. But once you've controlled as many variables with this person as you can, now you know it's something that's a variable that's out of your hands. And then now you can say, like, okay, if all this is really going on, we need to look elsewhere. Maybe you're just like super low T, man, and your body's just telling you know what, it's time to get fat, crawl in a hole and die and just be unfuckable. It's like, well, no, then maybe we should fix this. Maybe you can fix this. You don't have to go gently into that good night then that way. So we can know where else. Again, are you trying to help people, or are you just trying to fucking be a worker outer who has a gym?
That's it. Are you really trying to help people?
So that's it, guys. I think it was a good episode. I think you guys, there's a lot of good shit here. I really hope this frames the way you look at this product, not as a product either, I think it's just really critical for your services. I really think this is are you turning on the key to the car? Does it work when the person comes to get in the vehicle? Like, at that point, if it's that level of importance. It's, I came in to fix it. Now I'm driving off and it is fixed. And that's what you're here to do. And we're not going to know if we just let people stay there. The car stays in the shop forever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever. So thanks for listening, everybody. Make sure you join the Facebook group, the Gym Owners Revolution. Link is in the description there. You can follow John on Instagram at
JBanksFL.
JBanksFL. You can follow the show at the Gym Owners Podcast on Instagram. Follow me at Tyler F. and Stone on Instagram. If you want to cut all this bullshit out and get right to the shit where we start helping you with your business right now, right away, let's get you in the Gear Academy. So Gear Academy can get you in. Shoot us a message. You can email, is it your mom at hackyourgym.com?
Hackyourgym.com.
Your mom at hackyourgym.com, or just message either of us, or shoot us a message in the Facebook group or on Instagram or whatever. Just any one of those channels, shoot us a message, say, what's the deal with this Gear Academy? I'd like to maybe get in. We'll send you a questionnaire for you to fill out so we can make sure it's a good fit, you know, that you're ready, you know. But from there, yeah, once we can determine that you're ready and you're going to be a good fit, we can fucking start leveling your shit up, like really, 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 really can. So, get in the Gear Academy. This is when you stop talking about it and you start doing it. And we'll give away all this stuff we talk about. You can take every strategy I gave you today for free. Just do it all, write it all down and run with it. But like, fact of the matter is, we can make you do it. And I think that's the difference. It's all the gap between knowing what you need to do and doing it is where success lies. That's success nor failure. Mm-hmm. So if you want to bridge that gap, get into the Gear Academy. It's where all the cool kids are at anyways. So thanks a lot for listening, everybody. And we will see you next week.